Hey y'all, it's Christy with Christy's Custom Creations, and I had a customer request a specific cup using my Opal Blizzard. It's a white opal glitter that I carry at KCC Glitter, and I wanted to try out a new epoxy with it. This epoxy is called A Little Extra. It's ALE epoxy, and we're also going to do a giveaway of some of these samples. I wanted to try it out with this cup because it was going over a white opal glitter. You know, a lot of times we have issues with epoxy yellowing, so I really liked it, y'all. I really liked it a lot. But this is my process of me trying this new epoxy over a white opal glitter. It's a chunky glitter, and then also putting a water slide on this cup too. Like I said, this was a specific cup that a customer requested, so I figured let's give it a shot. But yeah, we are going to be giving away 10 sample kits of the ALE epoxy. So I will, later on in the video, I'll go over the details as to how to be entered into that giveaway. It's super easy. There's a few rules with the whole deal, but it's super easy. So we'll go over it. So I've got here, I mixed up about 7.5 milliliters of the ALE epoxy, and I didn't even use that much. This stuff went on like butter. It was so smooth putting on there. As you can see, like I even just set a bunch of it off to the side. So I'm getting a really good coat on here. I'm using a chunky, so I don't want to stretch the epoxy a whole lot. I want a little bit extra on there, so I probably ended up using maybe 5 milliliters. Because of the chunky, it helps it lay down. So once I got it on there, I took my heat torch and I just torched it really good so that I could get it nice and smooth. And this is my Opal Blizzard glitter from my KCC glitter line, and I'll have my website for my glitter linked down in the description box below. And I'm just going to very freely sprinkle this Opal Blizzard glitter on there. It is a chunky mix, so you have chunkies, you have fines, you have some medium-sized glitter in there, and it just really helps to get good coverage on that cup because of it being a chunky mix. So, and let me tell y'all, this glitter is so pretty. It's kind of got like some pink and blue hues to it. It's just gorgeous. So it's one of my favorite chunkies that I carry. But I'm just gonna get it on there really, really good. And then I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper. So I like to take parchment paper or wax paper. I'm actually out of wax paper right now, so I'm using parchment paper. But I'm going to take some parchment paper and I'm just going to flatten this chunky glitter out. And it's really important to flatten this chunky glitter because if you don't, then you are going to use so much epoxy and sandpaper to basically sand your cup smooth. So if you just do it now, it saves you a lot of work later. And you just take it and you put it on there and let it just smooth it down. So once that dried completely, I let it dry for probably about 6 hours or so. And then I've mixed up 20 milliliters of epoxy. But after letting it dry, I did take some Rust-Oleum 2X Gloss Clear Spray Paint. And I just sprayed a quick layer over the over the glitter. This is what I used here. And directly over the glitter, I like to spray the Rust-Oleum because it helps keep the glitter, the chunky glitter, from repelling the epoxy. I've found that is just, it helps so much. It helps keep everything in place. So highly recommend doing that. Give it about 30 minutes, let that clear spray paint completely dry, and then go in with your epoxy. So here I've mixed up 20 milliliters of epoxy, and y'all look how just perfectly clear and shiny that is. It's beautiful. So as I smooth the epoxy all over the cup, once I get like really good coverage, I take one finger and I run it up the cup, starting at the bottom as it spins, making my way all the way around and then smoothing the bottom. And then I take my blowtorch and I go in and I just pop any little micro bubbles. And this is a much thinner viscosity epoxy. It's not a really thick epoxy, but I really like it. Like, look how pretty and clear it is. And this company's based out of Florida, which is the same state as me, which I really like because we get a lot of sun and it's really hot in Florida. So they get it when it comes to the heat and the sun with epoxy. So I am going in, I let the cup completely dry, let that layer of epoxy, not completely dry. I probably let it dry for about 4 hours until it was tacky. And then I went in with a second coat of epoxy. I definitely always, no matter what the epoxy brand, I always recommend 2 coats of epoxy over your glitter before you sand. Because if you don't, it's usually not good enough coverage. So I just did the exact same thing here. And look how beautiful that is, y'all. I am obsessed. I love this glitter, but I really like it under the ALE epoxy. So now it is time to do a little bit of sanding here. And this cup is just, it's looking so good right now. So I will go in with my flat razor, and I always do this on every cup that I do chunky glitter on. Don't ever cut towards yourself, but go in with your flat razor and just scrape the top rim there. And it helps get any of those little pokies that are poking up over the top of your rim. Just helps get those off without having to wear your sandpaper out too terribly much. So, and then after that, I'm going to go in with some 220 grit sandpaper. I get it on Amazon. I'll link everything that I use down in the description box below. But I love it because it's got a sticky back and it sticks to my hand, and it just makes sanding so much easier. So I'm going to sand around the top rim, and I'm going to sand around the bottom and down the sides as well. So that's it. I mean, just make sure it's nice and smooth, and any little pokies you've got anywhere, just knock them down with your sandpaper. Pretty easy. After sanding, I take my cup to the sink and I wash it with some Dawn dish soap. Dry it completely, and then because we are using Waterslide here, I am going to put a super thin layer of epoxy on this cup before applying my Waterslide. If you were doing vinyl, you wouldn't need to apply another coat of epoxy before the vinyl, but because it is Waterslide, you can either do epoxy or you can do some gloss spray paint. I personally like a coat of epoxy. I feel like it makes it much shinier under the Waterslide. So that's the way I do it. That's the way I recommend it. But you will see me add that third coat of just a very thin coat of epoxy after sanding here. And there we go. The cup is sanded and it's ready to go. So this is my third coat of epoxy. You've already seen me apply 2 coats of epoxy over glitter so far in this video. So there's no reason to really explain it again. I think I used maybe 10 milliliters of epoxy here. So let's go ahead and go over the giveaway rules. So ALE Epoxy wants to give away 10 sample sizes of epoxy for y'all to try out. So what we're gonna do is this giveaway is for United States participants only. So before you enter, please be in the US. I wish we could accommodate other countries. It's just easier for US participants only. So the super simple rules to enter into the giveaway. All you gotta do is you gotta like the video, subscribe to my channel, and comment on the video that you would like to be entered into the giveaway. As long as you're a US participant, you're entered into the giveaway. So we are going to choose 10 winners. This giveaway is going to run for 1 month from today's date, August 21st, 2022, until September 21st, 2022. The winners, the 10 winners, will be randomly selected, and if you are picked as a winner, I will update the description and tell you you're a winner. So on September 21st, 2022, keep an eye out because I will be commenting if you won the giveaway. That's literally it, and it will be shipped out at no cost to you, the epoxy. So they are 8-ounce sample kits of epoxy. Now, let's get back to this. So I have got Waterslide here. I printed my Waterslide on an HP inkjet printer. I got my HP printer on Amazon, and I will have that link down in the description box below. And I have used Blingasm Waterslide paper. I will also have that link down in the description box below. So I printed the image that I wanted. I printed it the right side up. I didn't reverse the image or anything like that. And then once that was dry from printing, I sprayed it 4 times with Rust-Oleum Gloss 2X clear spray paint. And the very first coat, I spray a super light, almost misted coat. I just kind of mist it. The second coat, I get a little heavier. The third coat, I get a little heavier. And then the fourth coat, I let it rip with the spray paint, with the clear spray paint. And that seals the Waterslide image in. If you don't seal it in well enough, then whenever you put the Waterslide paper into the water to release it from the backing, it will make the ink run and bleed. So you want to make sure it's sealed really, really good. And that's how I do my Waterslide. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of cutting around my image. This is clear Waterslide. It's going on a light colored glitter. So I like to cut it with a kind of like a curved edge. I just find that cutting it with a curved edge really helps. I feel like it just makes it lay down better. Like it doesn't snag as easily or anything like that whenever you're smoothing it down. You probably don't necessarily have to. It's just my personal preference. It's how I do it, and it's always worked for me. So I also do want to mention in reference to the giveaway that YouTube is not responsible for this giveaway in any way, shape, or form. This giveaway is between myself and ALE, a little extra, Epoxy. So I did want to mention that. I forgot to mention it earlier. So yeah, basically to enter the giveaway, all you do, like this video, subscribe, and comment that you want to be entered, and then you're entered. It's easy as that. And we, like I said before, we'll do the giveaway on September 21st, 2022. So I've got my tumbler here. It's nice and dry from that last super, super thin coat of epoxy. And I've got just a little Tupperware container. Usually I do this by my sink and I put water in my sink, but I've got a little, I'm trying to do it on video for y'all. So I have soaked my Waterslide paper in the water until it's ready to, you can just see it kind of slide and want to release from that backing. And it just kind of slides around, and you wet the cup just a little bit, and then you slide your Waterslide onto there. And look how easy it goes on. It looks awesome. And I'm just going to kind of make sure that it's even. I don't want a big lopsided image on there. So I just grabbed my my cut mat for my silhouette, and I just made sure that it was basically sitting level. And once I do that, there you go. Once I do that, I've got a super soft cotton washcloth. I know a lot of people use like little squeegee things. This is what I have found works for me. I use it every single time I do Waterslide paper, and you just don't be rough with it. Just be easy. And I mash it down, and then I just smooth it, and I smooth any water out from underneath that Waterslide paper and make sure we don't have any bubbles or anything like that. And there you have it. After applying my Waterslide, I like to let it dry for at least about an hour. You probably really don't need to let it dry for that long, but I want to make sure it's good and dry. So now I'm going to speed this part up quite a bit. I'm just going to apply bats randomly all over this tumbler. You could actually do this whole thing with vinyl if you don't do Waterslide. Waterslide's so much easier than cutting vinyl and having to weed it and all that. So I really love to use Waterslide paper on a light colored cup. One thing too that I thought was pretty cool is you can actually see this chunky underneath the black ink. So it almost makes it look like a glittery black underneath the bats and the black flame design. So it looks pretty cool. But I'm just gonna apply them randomly, and then once I apply a few, I just smooth them out just like I did before, and I just work my way around the cup. There's literally no rhyme or reason as to how I put these bats on there. So I really hope y'all give this epoxy a try, whether it be through the giveaway or if you just want to check them out on their website. They ship super quick. I was very impressed with how quick their shipping is. So if you want to, I'll have them linked down in the description box below. You can give them a try. Like I said, it's ALE Epoxy, and I was very impressed. It was very easy to use. It went on so smoothly. Oh, another thing too, I got a little birdie told me that they are working on a fast set formula for their epoxy. So I think that's something to just keep an eye out for, that they may be releasing a fast set here at some point. So I'm pretty excited about that because I love me some fast set epoxy. I really, really like a normal set epoxy, a normal drying epoxy, especially when I'm doing like a lot of pins all at one time or something like that. But a fast set epoxy is definitely nice for when you're in a hurry. And I probably let it dry at least 8 hours before I could really handle it really good. So I did decide to throw these on the cup. This is some tumbler stickers. They go on the bottom of your tumbler. A lot of people like to put their logos on the tumbler. So these come from Critter Cup Customs, and you can find her on Etsy, and I think she's got an actual website now. I'll link her site down in the description box below. But Carrie with Critter Cup Customs, I got these decals, and I decided to use the one with the white backing because this is a white cup. And it's got basically tumbler care on it. It says, don't soak it, don't drop it, all that good stuff. But it also has my logo on it too. So I decided to throw this on the cup. It didn't need to be sealed or anything like that. I just stuck it on there and it's ready to go. And I'm going to let this water slide dry for about an hour before I do this final coat of epoxy. Look how good that looks, y'all. I love it. I will say, look how shiny and glossy this epoxy is. I'm very impressed with it. So this is the final coat of epoxy, and I am using 20 milliliters of epoxy for the final coat. And I'm just going to get really good coverage on there, smooth it out everywhere, and then once I get it smoothed out completely, I am going to go with one finger and slide up the cup as it spins. This is the way I apply epoxy every single time I do a tumbler, and then I swipe the bottom, make sure I don't have any buildup of epoxy on the bottom, then I torch it to get rid of any micro bubbles. And I'm very impressed with this epoxy, y'all. So I'm definitely a fan of ALE epoxy. And be sure to enter the giveaway. It's super easy. Like, subscribe, and comment that you'd like to be entered, and that will get you in the giveaway, where we will give away some 10 sample kits on September 21st, 2022. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know, and I hope y'all have a great day. Take care. Bye.